In 2014, a janitor died with $8 million in his bank account. Nobody knew. Not his family, not his friends, not even his lawyer, until he read the will out loud and the room went silent. Ronald Read spent 25 years working at a gas station, then became a part-time janitor at JCPenney. That was his entire career. No promotions, no bonuses, no lucky breaks. Outside of work, he drove a used Toyota Camry, ate at the same diner every morning, and wore the same jacket for decades. Held together by a safety pin because he refused to buy a new one. His friends thought he was cheap. His stepchildren thought he was struggling. Nobody knew what was actually happening beneath the surface. Because while Ronald looked like he had nothing, he was quietly building something most people never achieve. Even people who earned 10 times what he ever did. When he died at 92, he left $6 million to his local hospital and library. Total net worth, $8 million. Built entirely on a janitor's salary. No inheritance, no crypto, no business, nothing. Just one habit repeated for 50 years without stopping. Here's what Ronald understood that almost nobody else does. First, never let your lifestyle catch up to your income. Every time Ronald earned more, he invested more, not spent more. The gap between what came in and what went out was the most valuable thing he owned. Most people get a raise and immediately upgrade something. The car, the apartment, the phone. Ronald never upgraded anything. That boring consistency was the engine behind everything. Second, buy what you understand and leave it alone. Ronald never had a financial advisor, never watched market news. He bought shares in companies he saw every day, railroads, banks, utilities, and held them for decades without touching them. During crashes, he didn't sell. During booms, he didn't chase something shinier. He just held. The stock market rewards patience more than intelligence, and Ronald proved it without a single finance qualification to his name. Third, start before you're ready and never stop. Ronald began investing in his 30s with small amounts and no real plan. He just started and kept going year after year without making a big deal out of it. By the time 50 years had passed, compounding had turned those small contributions into something unimaginable for a man on a janitor's salary. Time multiplies money in a way that feels impossible until you see a real example of it. Ronald is that example. Here's the real lesson most people miss. Ronald was not miserable. He was not grinding through decades of suffering waiting for a payoff. He just genuinely did not care about looking wealthy. He cared about being wealthy. And the distance between those two things is exactly where most people's money disappears. He never earned more than $11 an hour. He never had an advantage you don't have access to right now. He just understood 3 things and applied them for 50 years. Spend less than you earn. Buy what you know and leave it alone. Start now and never stop. That's the whole formula. Not exciting, not a hack, but the only method proven to work across every income level, and Ronald Read proved it on a janitor's salary. Nobody taught him this in school. Nobody teaches it anywhere. That's why this channel exists. Real people, real money stories, lessons the system never gave you.